Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Strategy Game Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Shippey, and today we're going to be talking about what it looks like to see, hear, and know our neighbors. This is kind of a fun episode because it involves a little bit of our family adventures in different ways of loving our neighbors. And I think hopefully some of it will be inspiring for you all to create your own spaces where you're able to connect with your neighbors. And by that, it might not look like who's on your street, right? There's many different ways to define who our neighbor is, but those conversations and those connections can lead to just enjoying people, personal growth, even growth in our businesses. And I'll connect it all, as always, as we near the end of this episode. But when you think about your neighbors, what comes to mind? So maybe some of us, when we think of some of them, have a feeling of dread wash over us, or a great feeling, like they're friendly, they're cordial, they're always willing to help. You wave hello on your way to the mailbox, or working on, yard work on the weekends, you bump into them and have, small talk conversations, or maybe you head out down your driveway for a walk with the dogs in the morning with your coffee, and, you chat with your neighbors, and maybe you talk to them about some things that you don't even talk about with other people. Maybe it's kind of like deep in a way that sometimes surprises you, or maybe you just have great conversations, even if it's just a surface level conversation. There's something comforting about our neighbors. There's something comforting about that connection point that we automatically have built in because of the way our communities are built. And so we've got, if you think about this, neighborhoods all over the world, essentially, that are pockets of communities that are made up of people, random people, that have decided to move in these places. And we can find sometimes the best unlikely friendships and relationships because of our neighborhood. So when we really zoom way out and we think about that, it's pretty cool to think that all over the world, there are pockets of communities of random people that have been brought together just because of where they live. And neighborhoods truly are part of the fabric of our everyday lives, right? Because we see these people almost every day. And I think when hard things happen or hard times come, you might think back to COVID times, things like that, we tend to lean in a little bit more. We tend to draw in a little closer. Our human instinct, our survival, our really survival method is to just pull in. And if we pull in geographically, our neighbors are on the radar, right? They're a part of that story. And so just a fun thing, some fun things that we've done just to connect with our neighbors that have been pretty cool. A few years ago, when my daughter was younger, my oldest daughter, she wanted to put together a neighborhood newspaper. She got this in her head that she wanted to make her own newspaper. She probably saw the paper somewhere and thought, I want to make my own. So she's quite the entrepreneurial spirit, always coming up with ideas. And this is one that we actually made happen. So there was a problem, though. We didn't have anything to put in our newspaper. So we got thinking we should survey our neighbors and create a list of questions to ask them, just like, random different questions, like your favorite joke, your favorite part of living on the street. How long have you lived on the street? Was there anything about this street that was here that, we didn't know about like long ago? And we put it in every neighbor's mailbox. And it was really awesome because almost every neighbor responded right away. And it was just really fun to read their responses. And we learned so much about our own street that we never knew before, and just really enjoyed reading all of their responses. So some of them towards the end of the street have lived here since the very beginning. The first houses were built on that street. And so where our house was in particular, there was no house, and it was just a wide open lot of woods. And so their kids, when they were younger, used to come and play on our lot all the time. They loved to play in the woods. And we learned that we used to have a family of foxes on our street, that there were 3 families who have family members on this same street, like generations. We have generations of families on our street, which is really cool. One of our neighbors was really fun and sent some jokes in to feature on the newspaper. And there were other things that we learned that were so much fun, but we designed it and compliments of Canva, printed it out on our printer and delivered it, special delivery. So both of my girls were the ones that labeled them, all of our neighbors. So we actually learned some of their names. We didn't know all of their names, but we got to know all of their names by doing this and put it in each of their mailboxes. And it was really cool. They loved it. A couple of them emailed me, texted me, saying just how fun that was. And they still bring it up. They joke around saying like, when is the next neighborhood newspaper coming out? So it was just a cool way to connect. And, it wasn't my idea. It was just watching, a project come to life that, my daughter, it was her idea. And it was really neat because it brought people together and gave them some just even talking points in conversation when they saw each other out front. And the other thing that we have done is just once a year, our neighbors, we don't get together really regularly, life, everybody's schedules, all that stuff. Although I'm a huge proponent of I know some neighbors have block parties and just Friday happy hours, whatever it is, but every year we just have everybody over in our backyard around the holidays. And it's just really great to connect. And we just learn more and more about our neighbors, which are so great. And so just all that to say, I think just reflecting on the fact that neighbors, whether they're just our actual neighbor or whether it's the people that you see every day, like if you think back to our episode on the slideshow of the people in our lives, this could be like your local barista. Maybe somebody at Starbucks makes your drink every morning. Maybe it's your gym, right? The people at your gym. Maybe it's the paper carrier or your mail man or woman. Mr. Patrick is ours. We love him. Every year we exchange Christmas cards, and he's so great. He's so cheerful. He's like one of the happiest people that I know, the most joy-filled people. And, or Amazon delivery crew. Sometimes you have the same person on the same route every day, right? Who are those people that you see every single day because they're a part of your life and you're a part of theirs? And whether you realize it or not, you have an impact on them and you can have an impact on them. And that's really how we're all leaders. That's really, if you don't have an official title of any kind of leader, you do, because it's everybody around you that you encounter. It's your family, it's your friends, and it's your neighbors, whoever they are, right? So even if you don't know them that much, you might know something about them, like their coffee order or, their normal daily habits, or all of those things. And so it's comforting to recognize the steady presences that you have in your life and in your community, and that those people mean something to you. And I would just encourage you today just to recognize that and just let those people know. It can just be a smile or a wave or a, how are you doing? Or like an extra, you're taking note of, maybe their name or thanking them or whatever that looks like. I think it's really, really great when we can see, hear, and know our neighbors and those people, just the people around us, whoever's around us, because it makes life more meaningful. We have more meaningful connections throughout the day. It actually fuels us in our work, in our lives, in everything we do. So that the joy that we experience through just meaningful connections, and it doesn't have to mean a really deep conversation. It just has to mean just that moment where you see, know, or hear somebody and you feel the same, that fuels our lives and our businesses. And so just tying this back around to how this can impact us, too, even in life and work and all of that stuff. I mean, that's definitely one part of it. But the other part of it is just that, you don't know what kind of unexpected conversations that you will have that might give you ideas for how you might do things differently. I think whenever we we let ourselves be interrupted throughout the day by good things, good distractions, right? Like a small conversation with our neighbor, something of that nature, noticing something. Those usually, what I find for me personally is that those usually give me ideas or some type of inspiration that I am using in my work or in a strategy with a business, or how I can see, hear, and know a customer for myself or a particular business, right? Or how I can see, hear, and know my family in a different way, or something that we, want to adopt as our custom in our home, or how we might do things. So don't discount the interactions with our neighbors. That's all I got for today on this. Thanks so much for tuning in. And as always, if you want more of this content, you can head to www.storywork.co.